اهلا بيكم في فيديو جديد. والحقيقه فيديو النهارده هو مختلف لانه حوالي 30 دقيقه من معلومات ونصايح مهمه جدا من شخص قدر يحقق مبيعات كبيره جدا من خلال البيع على امازون اف بي. اول حاجه اتكلمنا فيها هي ازاي نستخدم ادوات امازون الداخليه اللي محدش بيتكلم عنها خالص، اللي ممكن تدينا ارشادات مهمه جدا عشان نحسن من اداء المنتج والليستنج على امازون. تاني حاجة اتكلمنا فيها هي ازاي نطلع بأقصى استفادة من تصوير المنتج، وازاي نحترف في كتابة الليستنج، سواء كتابة التايتل اسم المنتج او البوليت بوينتس وهي وصف المنتج. ده غير معلومات تانية كتير جدا ممكن نكون أول مرة نسمع المعلومات دي، وحقيقي المعلومات دي ممكن تزود مبيعاتنا على أمازون من غير ما ندفع دولار واحد زيادة في إعلانات. فلو عجبكم فيديو النهاردة فما تنسوش تعملوا لايك للفيديو وشاركوا الفيديو ده مع أي حد ممكن يستفاد بيه، واشتركوا في القناة لأن تشجيعكم ده اللي بيحمسني إن أنا أنزل فيديوهات أكتر. ويلا بينا. Today I have a very special guest, the beard guy, Norm Farrar from Launch with Norm, one of the most famous podcasts in the Amazon space, and he will share with us an important stuff about Amazon listing optimization and how to efficiently use Amazon internal tools. So Norm, welcome on my channel. How are you?
You know, it is such an honor to be on your podcast because, again, being part of our group just less than a year ago to seeing you, grow your product line and now having your podcast, that's awesome. That's what I love.
Thanks, man. How are you going?
It's going. It's fourth quarter and it's busy. Okay, so it kind of goes back to when I got into e-commerce. So I got into e-commerce back in the 90s, and I was able not only to get into e-com, but I had a sourcing company. And back late 90s, we were in China. And then this is my father, my brother, and I bought two factories over in Taiwan, and which allowed us to get more and more into the manufacturing side, into the fulfillment side, and eventually into specialty packaging. So putting that all together, it just kind of was a perfect storm when it came to Amazon. I was introduced to Amazon by my friend Riz, and we were part of AMA, which was the beta to ASM1. Never got involved. I thought it was interesting, but I couldn't see myself selling Kindle books on Amazon. So it took until ASM3, which is Amazing Selling Machine 3, went to Vegas, and we both started selling on Amazon at the same time. And that started my journey. The progression really happened when I overheard somebody, a doctor, talking about he just didn't get it. He didn't understand it. He'd love for somebody, if somebody could just take over a listing for him and help him out. And all he wanted to do was beat the Standard & Poor's, the S&P. And so I overheard it. I went over to him. I said, I think I can do that. And he like, well, I don't have a product. Don't worry. So I gave him a list of 5 to 10 different product opportunities. And he thought, oh, this is great. He trusted me and he gave me some money. And we grew 2 brands, one in they're totally different brands. And anyways, that was my start. I didn't even have a product on Amazon. That was my start, just being able to understand the market, the packaging, the branding, and then to send external traffic over. Even back then, Amazon didn't have any PPC, so more eyes on the product, more sales were made. And that's where I stuck. And then I brought my own brands onto Amazon and just started. And this is actually very important. You can't sell on Amazon without paying what I call your Amazon tax. And that is making lots of mistakes. I still do today. There's something, oh man, I didn't know about that. And, today, right now, I have a listing suspended. So I got to figure out what happened. They just gave me a notice. Of course, probably, one of the black hatters probably did something, IP infringement or something, but I got the notice just before Black Friday that one of my listings is down.
Yeah, that's sad to hear. In these days.
Well, it's part of it, right?
Yeah.
Part of Amazon. And in the old group, we talk about resilience. You're going to get hit with this. You just got to keep getting up and then, keep moving forward, because Amazon can knock you down, but it could also make you money,
Yeah,
so you gotta weigh it out. And most of the time, it's better to move forward.
yeah. I know that as Amazon has a lot of advantages, but it has a lot of disadvantages also. But the most important thing that made me to stay selling on Amazon, it's organic traffic. It's so important that I did drop shipping before I start Amazon FBA, and the things that I didn't love about any external traffic like Facebook or Instagram or any other platform, that when I advertise my product, I go to the customer and knock his doors. Hey, please go to my store and buy my product. This is so difficult. In Amazon, yeah, Amazon has a lot of disadvantages, but the customer who is searching for your product on Amazon, so you just meet him in a middle of the street, and it's like that's why the conversion rate on Amazon is higher than any other platform. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start right away. What is listing optimization and how to efficiently do that in terms of keyword research and other stuff?
Okay, so I don't know, like your audience, beginner, intermediate, advanced.
Beginner and some advanced. Yeah, yeah.
All right,
The
so
a lot of sellers in Middle East are selling on Amazon.com and Amazon Europe.
perfect. So let's just kind of cover it. There's some parts that not a lot of people are talking about, so it's going to give you guys an advantage. Part of it, we all talk about images, so we want really good quality images. Amazon says 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels. You probably want to do 2,000 by 2,000. A lot of the times you want to fill the frame. You want to split test. You can use, and I would go to a professional photographer to get your photos done with the product, maybe with the packaging. It depends. Like there's a variety of different ways that you can position the product. You might be able to with a graphic artist. I've done this, so it's a little bit. You could be suppressed. You won't be
Yes.
suspended, but I want to fill that whole white frame. So if I've got a knife and I've got the packaging, I might put a sliced orange underneath it or a sliced tomato, just to fill up all that white space. So Amazon likes that, the algorithm likes that, and I always split test. So even with the packaging, the knife going left to right, it might just go parallel, and then I'll have like sliced tomatoes along the bottom in the packaging. I'll give, like I use PickFood, so I would use a variety of different types of primary images. And then on your secondary, a lot of people don't split test that. And it could be you want light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. Some people might, it might be better off in the group to be white and then all dark, finishing up with a video. But typically what I like to see, regardless of the pattern, is you want to have benefits in there. You don't want to write a book. The book is for the bullet points. You want to have just a bullet of what it is. It could be your key ingredients, and it's just a bullet, no explanation, just the bullets. Explanations are on the other side. So benefit, features, instructions, ingredients, lifestyle are all items that I like. What's more important depends on the product. I usually really like to take 2 lifestyle images and stick them in there somewhere and make them happy. Nobody wants grumpy old men, promoting your product. They make it look like they're happy using them, and then finish off with a video. And videos do not have to be expensive. You can do it yourself. You can have your own studio, but if you can, go to a company like Billow and just pay a very little. It's a little bit of money, like $80 to $100, and you can
Wow.
have a nice 30-second video done. So that's really important. Now, moving over to the title. I was just talking to Mark Casey the other day. I was at an event, and he said, don't put try it. Don't put your brand name in the beginning. Just remove it, put it at the end, or don't put it in at all. People are going to see your brand, underneath the listing. So that way you get first of all, the algorithm is going to pick up your main keyword, which it would have been your brand name and then the keyword. So that's how he's doing it. The way I'm doing it right now is I try to take 2 to 3 major keyword phrases, put it in there, but bind it together with something infused, with something engaging. I'll give you an example. Handmade natural soap infused with lavender essential oil. Infused is a nice word. People, oh, isn't it? It all blends it all together. And, you know, you can add a benefit in there as well. Or you could say, you know, the perfect, like you shouldn't use perfect because it might catch on that. But, you know, what was it that we had? A perfect gift set or gift box for men, women, children. And then you move down to your bullets, and the bullets, although they say not to, we didn't do it. As a matter of fact, I think back in the Centurion League, we were telling people not to put caps, not to put icons. I don't put icons or emojis in there, but I've gone back to putting benefits with upper caps and just a few words, and then the rest is all in lowercase. I also, at the last bullet, I will either use foreign language, okay, so, you know, Spanish, or what we believe in. So in my company, we believe that every human being has the right to fresh water. And we promote 5% of all proceeds go to boom. You should state what you believe in as a company, what your company culture is. And people like that. Then, and this all depends. Like you could have 4 benefits, you know, and then finish off with what you believe in, or 4 benefits in the Spanish. Any of those will help. But here's where the tricks are. So frequently bought together. Frequently bought together is your easiest, it's an easy opportunity for you to gain 33% more sales. So people that have frequently bought together, and if you have your competitor and another competitor, you're giving away those sales. So what I do, again, I sell soap. Well, I have a 1-pack, a 3-pack, and a soap dish. I get somebody to buy the 1-pack, the 3-pack, and the soap dish once a month. And there's my frequently bought together.
Yeah.
Now, if a competitor catches on, they might buy 2. All right, then I buy 2, you know, but you'll see it right away when it gets taken away from you. And then if you want, you can go and find really good products like your competitors or some add-on that you can go and buy their product, and now you're on their frequently bought together. So anyways, that's a little trick. Another one, this is all for optimization.
Yeah.
Key questions and answers. Write out a bunch of questions with a keyword in it, even your competitor's keyword. Like you can say, I heard that X, are you similar to X? I heard blah, 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 blah. Yes, we are similar to X. We provide all natural ingredients, and you use the keyword. And you can answer the keyword, like whatever the seller or whatever the person is asking, which you've written the question, you've just told people to send you or write it for you. You can, not you, but anybody can write that question. And they don't even have to buy product. You write the question. So anytime I do a listing, I try to get 5, maybe 10 questions with keywords. And that is indexed. Another area is videos. So this is cool.
Yeah.
Nobody is doing this. So there's under related videos, you have the opportunity to upload videos, or your competitor can. I'd rather get to the carousel before my competitors. So I'll go and I'll hire somebody to do maybe a 2-minute video, but it'll be an unboxing video. It'll show the use of it. It might show the instructions. It might show ingredients. Anyways, it could be 10, 15-minute segments or whatever it is. You can also mix and match. So you can add pieces together. So it could be a completely different video. And I create, like I'll go I have my own team for this, but you can go to Fiverr and get somebody to create a thumbnail that just shows your brand and shows unboxing of your brand. And you put them all on each video, you take up all the carousel, and you do your competitor. You buy 3 competitors and you do a comparison, and you talk about the packaging, the brand, the perceived value, the customer experience, and yours is always better. So, but you get to upload it, and you get to upload it on your competitor's site. So
Yeah.
now they're seeing on their, and you've already got yours filled out, so they can't come back and put a video up. Anyways, that's something that I love doing. And then there's all sorts of little tricks. I don't know if you want me to get into them, but that's some of the main things that we do with the listing optimization.
Yeah, that's cool. For the video you have mentioned, I like to use also Amazon posts. It shows my product and images that I post on my competitor, like product targeting ad. And I choked when I saw the number of impressions that I am getting every day with an organic 100% organic reach. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with that too, with your posts, not only can you use it for posts, but you can repurpose it over onto Facebook, like any of the social media platforms, and which I love. You know, it's free, and a lot of those posts could be user generated content. Like part of your insert can be tag us with a post,
Yeah.
and free.
Okay, so here is a tip that I use in my product inserts. When I was doing drop shipping, I was using influencers so they can promote my product through stories. And I decided, so why to make my customers on Amazon or mine on Shopify to be small influencers, so I can put an insert card and engage them to open my product. And if you like, I will give you a 20% discount when you tag us in your story.
Here's something we did with a knife. So we wanted to get the word out there, and we wanted a lot of influencers, and we wanted to do something on Amazon posts. So we went to a cooking school, a culinary school, and we gave them our knives. So all of them had the knives. The tip was they needed to provide us with recipes. They needed to tag us. And what we wanted to do is, see them working with the knife and providing us with the recipe. So all of our material was on Mondays, we would post a new chef with the recipe in posts.
Yeah.
And we could take that and we could put it over into our social media, and went one step further. We got the culinary school, and this is just starting right now, like as we're talking, we got them to create a cooking class on Amazon Live using our product.
Yeah, that's so cool. First time to hear about this. That's great. So, how to efficiently use listing optimization in terms of keyword research, and what your tips about that?
Okay, so first of all, I use 2 tools. I use Helium 10 and I use Brandon Young's Data Dive. So those are the 2. If you're not using Data Dive, it will, well, put it this way, I sold dog beds, and I went through the tools, and I noticed that one of the main keywords that we were missing out on for our small dog beds was rabbit bed. There was huge volume that I didn't pick up before. So we started to create a funnel for rabbits. And anyways, what I found is Helium is awesome. I love the Helium 10 products. Data Dive will give you a huge advantage. So now the system I use, the way that I do it, is I'll go in to Cebro. I'll take the ASINs, I'll find my competitors, and it's very important that you find specific competitors. So if I was selling a dog chew, I wouldn't just say dog chew. If I was selling rawhide, which is really bad, or a bully stick, I want to make sure that it's competitors that are bully sticks. Now, is it a braided bully stick? Is it 6-inch? Is it a 12-inch bully stick? Well, is it a jumbo bully stick? I want to be so specific with that. And those are the competitors that I want to bring in to the mix. So if I can get 10, great. If I can get more, awesome. So then I'll bring up the search volume and I'll see what the main keywords are. Now, the primary keyword, bully stick, just forget about. I don't look at it. I want to go to what's called the long tail keyword, a primary long tail. So natural bully stick, organic bully stick. I know these because I sell bully sticks, and then grass-fed bully sticks. So I separate those two. And if anybody's using Helium 10, all I do is I go to the advanced filter and I'll put in natural, bully stick. I want any combination of that. And they're going to give me, maybe 20, maybe 30 different combinations that are going to go into an Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to download it and I'm going to name it natural bully stick. I'm going to do the same thing with organic. I'm going to do the same thing with grass-fed. These are called silos. So back in the old days, when I was doing way back before any Google update, we'd break these into silos, and that's where we would get all our juice going for SEO. Same thing here. It's the same information. So I'll go and I'll try to find high volume, longer tail keywords, and then I'll start to work down that list. Usually I'll work with 1 or 2 silos at a time. I won't work with 3. And when I go in, this is information, this might be too much information, but the seed keyword, so it's natural bully stick, I color it green. So any one of them, I colored green in those 3. Then I give the other keywords a different color. So every other one in natural might be purple, in grass-fed might be blue. So I can look at it, and what you'll notice is that anytime you do this, one is going to take off. So the blues are going to take off or the purples are going to take off, and you know where you want to spend your time, immediately want to spend your time. While this is going on, I've got like Vandana. If you've ever heard my podcast, she comes on quite a bit. And she's going out there working with Data Dive, looking for the other combinations that we're missing out on. So that's typically how we're doing it.
That's so cool. Keyword research is one of the most important things. I see that you will succeed on Amazon when you start know that you don't have to sell a product. You should sell or take a market share for a certain keyword. If you done this right, it will be good. So Amazon recently released a lot of amazing tools, starting from Opportunity Explorer, and then they introduced Search Query Performance. So how can seller use this tool to grow their business in terms of product research or optimization for keyword for listing?
Well, you mentioned one report that's probably 6 months old, and there's 2. There's catalog performance and then there's search performance. You got to use those, like at least the search performance. It tells you exactly what is converting, what's not converting. So whether you spend your money or not spend your money on those terms. But the other tools like the listing optimization under catalog, great tool. Absolutely, it's going to tell you what you need to build your optimization. And some of them are out of whack, but some aren't. And you'll know being the seller. The other thing is product, what's it called? Managed document. So managed product document. This gives you the opportunity as a seller to upload troubleshooting, instructions, all these guides, compliance that your competitors aren't. So I was just at a conference last week. I asked everybody in the conference, is anybody using it? Not one person put up their hand. So if I was going to your product and the competitor's product and he didn't have the information that I wanted and you did, well, guess who's getting the sale? So that's one that not a lot of people are doing. And then growth opportunities. That's another one where and that's just in the tabs, growth opportunities. It tells you every SKU that you have, what you do to get extra sales. And I know on a pet brand that we were working with. All of the SKUs combined ended up at $40,000 extra a month if we just did, or sorry, it was over 9 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
If you just did a few tweaks, adding a video, adding or adjusting your A plus, search terms. And then you've got in the brand section, like brand analytics is great by itself, but you've got the demographics, so you know who you're marketing to. And you got the search engine or the search term optimizer, where if you've got really terrible keywords, they're in pink, replace them. Get keywords that'll, help you convert. So those are just a few that I'm looking at. And then you've got virtual bundles. So if I'm selling soap, here's a 3-pack with a soap dish.
Yeah.
Just simple. And they're doing more and more and more of this all the time.
So I was asking you, what is your tips for anyone who is starting their Amazon journey right now?
Well, first of all, you don't spend a lot of money. But that being said, make sure you have the proper capital. Many Amazon sellers fail because they don't have the proper capital to support themselves. So you never think you're going to have a home run, like a product that's just selling like crazy. And if you do, you have to support that. So let's say you have products, you bring in 500 units. Well, they sell out, but you don't want that to happen. So you want to make sure next time you order 1,000. Well, that might end up with 2,000 units, might end up with 4,000 units. And you've got to make sure that you've got the capital to support that. In the beginning, you'll see profit, but it all goes back into inventory. At the same time, you've got to have enough money to support your marketing, to support anything else. You've got to make sure that you know exactly what it costs. So if you've got any shipping costs or Amazon fees or packaging costs or insert costs, you've got to have that all on a spreadsheet. And I would highly recommend, if you don't have an app, to make sure that you use a spreadsheet and just put down, here's my manufacturing costs, here's this cost, here's that cost, these are my Amazon costs, and put down everything, including if there's going to be any long-term storage costs. What are they? How much is it going to be? If you do, one thing that messed me up at the very beginning, I started off with 1-packs of soap. I didn't realize, because I didn't research it enough, that a 1-pack of soap is under $10, and it was going to cost me $4.65. That was the picking charge, $4.65. All right, so $4.65 right off the top. Well, I thought it was going to be a lot less. Then you've got the cost, then you've got the box, then you've got everything that came into it. I was making pennies. So I had to think of what I had to do, and I bundled them. So I created 3-packs rather than do 1-packs. 3-packs, I make money. 1-packs, I'm pretty much breaking even. So sometimes you got to change on a dime. You got to figure out, what can you do? Sometimes your competitors, you've got to always watch your competitors. So if they're doing something, how can you beat that added value? Going back to the cooking knife, well, adding a honing rod to sharpen it. It doesn't cost hardly anything, yet it looks on Amazon like it's $20, $24. So these are some things that you want to take a look at. Another thing is, don't be afraid of making mistakes. As long as you can come back from it, don't be afraid of making mistakes. I call it Amazon tax, paying your Amazon tax. Everybody makes mistakes on Amazon. I'm sure you made mistakes on Amazon.
Yeah, for
Everybody
sure.
does. It's how resilient you are, how you bounce back, your attitude, learning. Like if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably better than 95% of the other sellers because you're trying to learn, you're trying to expand your education, where some people are just throwing it up there. They watch some video from 2016, which doesn't exist anymore. So those are a few things I would do. Now, the last part, a little bit more complicated. And do I have enough time to get into this? It's going to take about 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure. Take your time. Yeah.
Okay. So a huge problem with people, a lot of new sellers, is they come in on the bottom tier. So they try to sell at the lowest rate. And that's not the best thing to do because you're just trading dollars. Every one of either the brands that I work with or my own brands, they're at the highest peak. Like people say, oh, you won't be able to sell it for that. Yes, I will. We were selling dog beds. The average dog bed on Amazon was $55 to $65. Our lowest price dog bed was $150 to $200. And they were doubling in sales during the recession because people with money will spend. So there's a lot of people that in a recession that will lose out. Well, that wasn't our customer. We wanted to have higher end people that want to take care of their pets. So no problem. Doubled sales in a recession. People say there's no recession.
Yeah.
All right. So, so anyways, what I do, and I did this with Dead Sea Mud. So I wanted to show people Dead Sea mud is a commodity, comes from the Dead Sea. So I took a look and I said, every product comes out with 3 tiers. You've got a low, medium, a high perceived value tier. With Dead Sea mud, the lowest one was around $7. It was six something. And this is the first tier, up to $14.95, so around $15. It was 8 to 16 ounces of Dead Sea mud. All right. The next tier, there was some prices in between, but the next average tier was $24 to $44. Same Dead Sea mud. Okay, what's going on? Better pictures, better listing, higher perceived value. And what was the next one? It was $70-ish to $95. The $95 Dead Sea mud was 3.5 ounces. Not 8, not 16, and not $6. $95. So why is that important? Well, if I spend the money and I either come up with something unique or high value, which is it could be shown in your product listing and your A+ and in your store, and you might need to do this as well. You might have to have nice social media, a one-page website, because people are going to go off of your Amazon listing, go to Google and see if you're a real brand. In fact, the rise of the micro brands. So, oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. The rise of the micro brands.
Yeah.
And that's everybody on Amazon. So if you can come out and you can show that you're consistent and the brand looks good, there's no problem with $70 to $95. As long as your product's good and the listing's good, nobody's going to question it. You're going to get reviews. Everything's going to be great. If your product underwhelms people, so you should be coming out lower, like maybe it's low, medium, people are going to give you negative reviews fast. You're not going to succeed. But if you've got a really great product and you're putting it out at the low level, you're killing yourself. You're missing out. And so many people do this. I'll look at brands that have it's a good quality looking listing, yet they're at the lowest price point. All they do is they cheapen themselves. And if you're in the baby category or pet category or pampering category, people aren't looking for that. They're looking for higher quality products. So that is probably the most significant thing I can tell people is don't undervalue what you're doing.
So before we end our call, how can people reach to you?
Okay, so easiest way is just Norm, N-O-R-M, at AMZ, like Amazon, .club. Don't put .com because that'll go to Amazon. So Norm at AMZ.club.
Yeah. And the other social media you have one of the most famous podcasts in the Amazon space, Lunch with Norm.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so we have Lunch with Norm, and that's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard. And, it's very casual.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we love new listeners.
Yes. So thanks a lot, Norm. I really enjoyed the call with you today, and I hope see you on in another video.